going to record today's session because it's Friday and I have a couple of students that are unable to attend. So we're going to record their class so that they can view it and so that it'll be available for others to view at a later time. Welcome, everybody. It is June 17th already, and we're going to be commencing our Friday English class. We have a 1-hour class today. And today we're probably going to finish the topic that we began, or we may not finish it because we want to practice as much as possible. We left off on page 163. If you remember, we left off on page 163. I'm including the page here now. But in case you forgot, our current topic is the present perfect progressive. And we are discussing well, it's a combination of the present perfect progressive and the present perfect. And we are discussing climate change. Climate change is a very interesting topic. Everybody likes to talk about climate change. There's a lot of things to say about climate change because it affects everybody in the world. We've already analyzed the vocabulary for today's lesson. We've already analyzed the listening comprehension questions. We heard the audio, and we read the article, and we answered the listening comprehension questions. And, of course, we've already advanced to the grammar presentations and discussed what is the present perfect progressive and what is the present perfect progressive when combined with the present perfect. Also, the main things we need to remember is that when we use the present perfect progressive, it is to show that something is unfinished. Again, the key word, unfinished. Okay, if you want to focus on the fact that they are still working on on anything, that means you can use the present perfect progressive. For example, I've been reading a book about solar energy that you want to focus on the fact that you're still reading it. I've been writing an article. You want to focus on the fact that you are still writing it. Okay. But if you've already read a book, I've read a book on Huckleberry Finn. I've read a book about English literature. There you're saying that you read it in the past. You have experience. You read it, but you already finished. Okay, so that is the main difference between the present perfect progressive and the present perfect. The continuation. The present perfect usually is used for when something is finished. Okay, we talked about that in the last lesson, and in the end, we completed reading this section. Where we use the present perfect progressive with how long, how much, how many times when you describe something that has occurred repeatedly. Okay, so we're going to focus on some practice because that's where we left off. In the end, we read this section here where it says sometimes you can use either the present perfect progressive or the present perfect. Because the meaning is simply the same. There's no change in meaning. We're going to review some of these, and then we're going to advance to focus practice, which is where we left off. Now, in our conversational chat on WhatsApp, whenever I finish the lesson, I sent you this last section. And I said that I wanted everybody to write a message to your classmates about what you've been doing lately, just in general. You could talk about anything you've been doing lately. And you can use ideas from our lessons. But we want to use the present perfect progressive for things that are unfinished, or the present perfect for things that are finished. And the present perfect progressive to talk about how long something has been happening, or or the present perfect to talk about how much, how many times you've done something. Okay, so that was for everybody to practice. We're not finished with this exercise, with this lesson, but I wanted everybody to practice. And Mr. Nathan sent in a pretty good context here. He said, "Hi everyone, this is Nathan's homework. I have been drinking Coke since July 2021. I have been drinking water to eat my food. Doing that, I have lost around 10 kilos since then." Okay, okay. I have been studying English again since September 2021. I have been taking level 3 and 4 at the same time. Excellent. Because he's not finished, so I have been taking, correct. Until today, we almost have finished the book. Very good. I have been building 2 new rooms in my house since March this year. We have finished the main of the build, but we haven't finished the details. We already have painted both rooms inside. Excellent, excellent. Good job, Mr. Nathan. A lot of information, good vocabulary. Sounds good to me. A good combination of the present perfect progressive and a good combination of the present perfect. Then we have Mr. Nestor. Mr. Nestor said, "Hi, this is my homework. I've been waiting for my college entrance exam results." Everybody's waiting for that. I've played video games this week. Very good. I've been studying English since 2020. And I've watched a lot of movies this month. Excellent. Good job, Mr. Nestor. Very good. Very good. And then we have Tanya. Tanya put, "Hi, everyone. This is my homework. I haven't been drinking alcohol 2 months ago. I have been very well. I have been very well. Excellent, excellent. I have been studying English since 2020. So have been. And I have learned every day more." Excellent, excellent. "I've been exercising for 3 weeks." Very good. "And I have been working at ArcelorMittal since 2019. You gotta add, si vas a usar el ing, se le agrega el been, porque es progresivo, el verbo ser. Pero muy bien, excellent vocabulary. Have been working quiere decir que todavía continúa. El énfasis es que todavía continúa trabajando ahí. Good job, everybody. Everybody did wonderful. The idea was that we practice, and everybody's practicing as much as possible because the lesson has a lot of practice, but I want you to apply the vocabulary and the context and the grammar to your regular everyday conversation. That's a different challenge. It's a little bit more intensive. All right. What we want to know, okay? What we want to know. When we read a sentence, can you identify the present perfect tense? And can you identify the present progressive tense? What we're doing here is when you read a sentence, you have to be able to identify. For example, here, professor, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so that you can read it better. Here we have an article. Okay, we want to know whether it's in the present perfect or the present perfect progressive. Okay, here it says Professor Owen has been reading. Okay, that means that you have the auxiliary, you have the verb be, you have the verb, and you have ing. You must have those 4 components. You must have those 4 components if you're going to have the present perfect progressive. Present perfect is have been. Of course, when you have the auxiliary, you use the verb be in the participle, been. Then the verb, read, then ing. Okay, been is not the verb. Been is the auxiliary of the progressive. Okay, in the present perfect. So you use the participle of be, which is been. Been. Okay, so because this is the present perfect progressive, the focus is on something that continues, something that is unfinished. Okay, so Mr. Adrian, can you tell me number 2, please? Read it.
Number 2, she read a book about global warming. Finished.
Very good. It is. So Mr. Adrian says this is a finished action. Okay, why? Because she has read. Has is the auxiliary. Okay, it is auxiliary. And then you have the verb participle. Ahí le voy a poner BP. BP, verb participle. El verb participle es el verbo en el perfecto. Okay. Es she has read. También es participle. Es read. Es read en el perfecto. Digo, es read en el presente. Es read en el pasado. Y también es read en el perfecto. Sí. Te acuerdo que hay muchos que se quedan igual. Sí, se pronuncia igual. Read también. Ajá. Es como cuando tienes throw. Ah, no, throw es diferente. Es como cuando tienes. Déjame, no se me ocurre uno ahora. Que se usa, que se recicla. Hay muchos que cuando lo pones en el pasado, en el perfecto se queda igual. ¿Verdad? Como. Led. Bueno, lead en el presente. Led, L-E-D en el pasado. Y leer en el perfecto también. Se queda igual. La diferencia es que le agregas el have o has. En este caso le agregaste has porque con I, you, we, they, ok, ahí tenemos que acordarnos. Esto lo aprendimos desde el principio. Con I, you, we, they, vas a utilizar have, ¿verdad? Y con he, she, o it, vas a utilizar has, ¿verdad? Y claro, si utilizas has, se puede usar en contraction, ¿ok? Ahí nada más para que identifiquen bien qué sucedió aquí, ¿ok? Con I, you, we, they se usa have, pero ahorita no tenemos I, you, we, they, ahorita tenemos he, she, or it. Entonces, básicamente, identificamos el sujeto, ¿verdad? I, you, we, they, have, he, she, or it, has. En este caso, el sujeto es she, ¿verdad? Entonces tomamos el she y le pusimos has, pero viene en contraction, así que a veces eso medio nos confunde, ¿verdad? She has written. She has written. No es she is written. Okay. She has written a magazine article about air pollution. Ahora, porque lo usó en el presente perfecto, igual al número 2, el énfasis es en que lo ha hecho, ¿verdad? A lo mejor va a escribir otro, pero aquí dice que ya lo escribió. Ok. A ver, Mr. Luigi, number 4, please. Number 4, Mr. Luigi. Yes, this one. Huh? ¿Qué pusiste? Finish or unfinish en el número 3. Me adelanté y lo dije, ¿verdad? Ya di la respuesta del número 3. así que sí va a ser el número 4 como quiera. She's written a magazine about air pollution, finished action. Yo no lo había dicho, pero ya dije que ya lo escribió, así que ya dije la respuesta. Ahora sí, tú vete con los 4.
She's been waiting for some supplies. Unfinished.
Ajá.
Finished.
Dijiste unfinished?
Unfinished.
Unfinished, that's correct. Why? Because you have she's been waiting. Okay, auxiliary, be, verb plus ing. Okay, here you have all of them. Auxiliary, be, verb plus ing. Okay, that is correct. So that's going to be an unfinished. That's going to be an unfinished action. Okay. Any questions, anybody? No questions? All right, excellent. So number 5, Mr. Marcos, can you read number 5 and tell me if it's finished or unfinished?
They've lived in Ontario since size 202 is finished.
That is correct. They have lived. We are using the present perfect. Have lived. So that is going to be finished action, right? That means, well, I mean, they're focusing on the fact that they lived there. This is one of those that can probably be finished and unfinished. Okay. Si ustedes se acuerdan, okay, me voy a regresar aquí al donde expliqué este detalle. Vean esto. Aquí dice, sometimes you can either use the present perfect, progressive, or the present perfect. The meaning is basically the same. This is especially, vean los verbos con cuáles especialmente sucede. Live, que es el que usamos aquí, study, teach, work. ¿Por qué? Porque si tú dices, I have lived in Monterrey since 2008, quiere decir que desde el 2008 hasta la fecha y puede continuar. Ahora, sí, no le estás dando énfasis a que es progresivo, ¿verdad? Pero sí es progresivo. Nada más que tú no te vas a enfocar en eso. Y en estos casos, tú puedes decir, I have lived in Monterrey since 2009. O puedes decir, I have been living in Monterrey since 2009. A lo mejor alguien, ¿verdad? De repente me encuentro con un amigo y me dice, hey, no te he visto, ¿qué pasó? Pues sí, he pasado por la casa de tus papás ahí en Dallas y nunca te veo. Pues ahí le digo, oh, it's because I have been living in Monterrey. Yo quiero que él sepa que todavía estoy allí. Entonces ya lo pongo en el progressive por esa razón. Pero si alguien nada más quiere saber dónde he vivido, I have lived in Monterrey, ¿verdad? Entonces depende, en algunos verbos, una cosa o la otra significa lo mismo de todas maneras. Y live, study, teach, work son uno de ellos. Y es lo que dice aquí. Ok, so, técnicamente en este puede ser finished o unfinished. Cualquiera de los dos funciona. Okidoki. What about Miss Tania? What about the next one? Number 6.
Number 6, they've been living in Ontario since 2002. Unfinished.
Unfinished. Y también ahí es uno de los que mencioné ahorita, ¿verdad? They've been living. Present perfect, present progressive, pero estamos hablando del verbo vivir, la realidad. Las dos oraciones significan lo mismo, técnicamente todavía vivimos ahí. Este es uno de esos verbos donde puede, si le das el énfasis a they've been living, es por darle énfasis, pero técnicamente puedes usar cualquiera de los dos. Finished, unfinished. Okay. But unfinished es el énfasis que le estás dando cuando usas el progressive. Okay. But it can be finished or unfinished en este verbo. Okay. What about number 7, Mr. Nestor? What can you tell me about number 7?
It's finished.
¿Dijiste finished or unfinished?
Finish.
Escuché unfinished, ¿verdad? That is correct. So they've been developing. We have we've, que es el auxiliar, been, el verbo ser, develop, que es el verbo, ing, progressive. So in this case, yes, it is unfinished. That is correct. Good job, Mr. Nestor. Mr. Nathan, number 8, please.
Okay, teacher. We've developed these plans with many leaders. Finished.
Correct. It is the present perfect. As you can see right here, we have developed. We have developed. So it is a finished action. Emphasis on the fact that it is a finished action. That is correct. What about number 9, Mr. Adrian?
Look out the window. It's been raining. Unfinished.
Unfinished, correct.
Unfinished.
Unfinished, correct. So it's been raining. Unfinished. Que se oiga la pronunciación de la UN. Unfinished. Very good, very good. What about number 10, Mr. Luigi?
Look, someone has watered the plants.
Watered.
Watered.
Uh-huh.
Watered the plants. Finished.
Finished action. Excellent job, everybody. So here we have identified, we have identified the present perfect and the present perfect progressive, the grammar and the context, and the meaning, whether it's a finished action or whether it is a continuous unfinished action. That is the purpose of this exercise, that we identify the grammar in the context. So if you understand the grammar, how we identified it here, and you understand why it's finished or unfinished, then you discover the grammar successfully. But we have a little bit more practice, okay? We're going to use the present perfect progressive or the present perfect to complete the sentences on this conversation. It says complete the statements, circle the correct form of the verb. In some cases, both forms are correct. Remember, vean lo que dice aquí. En algunos casos, como hablamos el ejemplo, tuvimos un ejemplo en el ejercicio previo, en algunos casos ambas formas están correctas. O sea, puedes usar una o la otra. No pasa nada. Okay, so let's continue with more practice. The number 1, okay, the first one is already completed. Right here it says, Professor Owen is working on 2 articles for the next issue of Green Earth magazine. She has been writing these articles since Monday. So the emphasis is that she's not finished. So it is correct. You have to put it in the progressive because the articles are not complete. So she has been writing is the correct answer. All right. Now, Mr. Marcos, can you tell me number 2, please?
Yes. Green Earth magazine has published its third annual report on the environment. It is an excellent report.
Correct. Has published. Now, ¿por qué seleccionó finished? Porque sabemos, de acuerdo al contexto, que es un reporte excelente. Ya podemos decir que lo acabó. Okay? So, you got to read the context. Sometimes you don't know until you read the next sentence. Okay? Por eso, cuando presentan un examen de Cambridge, especialmente, lean lo que viene antes y después, porque puede cambiar la respuesta. Very important. Good job, Mr. Marcos. Miss Tania, number 3, please.
Professor Owen has discussed global warming many times.
Did you say has discussed?
Yes, has discussed.
Yeah.
Finished.
That is correct. Finish that. Has discussed it many times. That is correct. Very good. Excellent job. Miss Tania. All right, great. Mr. Nestor, number 4, please.
She has spoken at our school many times about climate change.
Has spoken, de nuevo, many times. ¿Cuál es la explicación de que sea presente perfecto cuando es many times? O sea, ¿por qué es que tenemos que utilizar presente perfecto cuando es algo como many times? ¿Dónde está? No lo explica. Bueno, el punto es que a pesar de que algo se esté repitiendo, tú lo has hecho. ¿Ok? Y ese es uno de los que puedes usar ambos, la verdad. Porque si lo sigues practicando, es nada más cuestión de qué es la importancia, ¿verdad? Por ejemplo, si alguien me pregunta a mí que si tengo experiencia dando clases, voy a decir, oh, yes, I have taught, ¿verdad? Pero si quieren saber si todavía le doy clases a alguien, si continúo haciéndolo, pues entonces tendría que decir, I have been teaching, ¿verdad? Dándoles a saber que todavía lo hago. Ese es uno de los que se puede utilizar en ambos casos. Okay. Entonces, cuando algo se ha repetido, tienes la experiencia, ya se acabó, lo has hecho muchas veces, la palabra lo has hecho, ¿verdad? Es presente perfecto. Lo puedes poner en el presente perfecto. Pero de nuevo, si lo que queremos saber, aquí dice has spoken to our school many times, si queremos que venga de nuevo a hacerlo, o si lo vamos a tener haciéndolo y queremos que los padres de familia o alguien sepa, entonces también podemos decir she has been speaking. Okay. Ese puede ser uno o el otro, depende de qué es lo que queremos comunicar, a qué es lo que le queremos dar énfasis. Pero puede ser cualquiera de los dos. Me hace que ya le tocaron a Mr. Marcos. No, fue Tania, ¿verdad? ¿Quién hizo este último? Ya se me olvidó. Tania, ¿verdad?
Yes, teacher.
Sí. Bueno, entonces, a ver, Mr. Nestor, tell me number 5, please.
Congress has been creating a new study group to find solutions to climate.
Excellent. Why continuation? Because this is to find solutions to climate, and that problem is not resolved. So if it's not resolved, it's unfinished, they're still working on it, we still need a solution. If we need a solution, then it is progressive. They're not finished. Okay. Excellent. Good job, Mr. Nestor. What about Mr. Nathan, please? Number 6.
Okay, teacher. Number 6. The new group has a lot of work to do. Lately, the members okay. The members have been studying the use of solar energy for homes. They're learning about pollution from buildings.
Excellent, excellent. They have been learning. Why? Because in the second sentence, it says they are learning about pollution from buildings. That means they are learning. They are not finished. It is continuing according to the second sentence. Excellent job, Mr. Nathan. Mr. Adrian, number 7, please.
Professor Owen was late for a meeting with the members of Congress. When she arrived, the chairperson said, "I'm glad you were. We've been waiting for you."
Yeah, that is correct. Technically, you can probably use both, but it is very recent. So if it's very recent and they're still there, he arrived and they waited, yes, but very recent. Cuando es muy reciente, como que aquí va a aplicar la frase, definitivamente progresivo es correcto. ¿Pero por qué? Porque también se usa el progresivo cuando algo acaba de pasar apenas ahorita, en este momento. Por ejemplo, si sales afuera y está lleno de agua, ves la corriente ahí de charcos, pero ya no está lloviendo, como quiera puedes decir, oh, it's been raining, ha estado lloviendo. Pues lo mismo aquí, al final llegó, ¿verdad? Lo estaban esperando y aquí estaban hasta el momento, aquí recientemente, esperándote. So, we've been waiting for you. That's correct. Good job, Mr. Adrian. Mr. Luigi, please. Number 8.
Professor Owen has been living in Kenya for the last 2 years, but she will return to the United States in January.
Esto es nuevo. Bueno, todavía no habíamos tenido un ejemplo, no nuevo. Pero todavía no teníamos un ejemplo. What? ¿Lo cerré o qué hice? Aquí está. Todavía no habíamos tenido un ejemplo donde utiliza, have been living es correcto, primero que todo. Has been living in Kenya. Ok. Otra de las ocasiones en cuales utilizamos el presente progresivo, o sea, le damos énfasis a que es progresivo, es porque es progresivo y se va a acabar. Cuando algo es temporal, también puedes usar el progresivo, como diciendo, ahorita lo estoy haciendo, pero me voy a regresar a Estados Unidos en enero. Y es lo que dice aquí. Professor Owens has been living in Kenya for the last 2 years, but she will return to the United States in January. pero se va a regresar a Estados Unidos en enero. Entonces, cuando algo es temporal, ¿ok? Entonces, si tienes una falla con tu computadora, pero mañana la van a arreglar, puedes decir eso. My computer has been failing, but tomorrow they will fix it. Pero mañana la van a arreglar. Es como decir, hasta ahorita está sucediendo, pero es temporal, ya mañana, bla, bla, bla. ¿Ok? Entonces, de esa manera también se puede manipular el progresivo. ¿Ok? Tiene, pues, uno tuerce un poquito la gramática y la estructura para darle énfasis a los puntos importantes. Eso es lo que estamos haciendo. Okidoki. Let's continue. Mr. Nathan. Ahora voy de reversa. Mr. Nathan, can you tell me number 9, please?
Number 9. She has been working with environmentalists in Kenya and Tanzania.
Has been
Or
working. That is correct. Bueno, es que es continuación de la última oración. Estamos hablando del mismo Professor Owen, ¿verdad? Y si ya se mencionó que iba a estar ahí temporalmente, pues fue a trabajar con alguien, pues she has been working, ella ha estado trabajando con environmentalists en Kenia y Tanzania, pero ya no lo va a seguir haciendo. That is correct. Good job, Mr. Nathan. Miss Tanya, can I do number 10, please?
Yes, Kenyans have planted 30 million trees since the 1970s.
Have planted, lo han logrado. Esta puede ser una cualquiera de los dos. Si todavía no acaban, la verdad no sabemos. De acuerdo al contexto, no sabemos. Si ya acabaron, puedes decir Kenyans have planted 30 million trees. Si le quieres dar énfasis al hecho de que ya esa misión no continúa. Pero, si todavía está recaudando fondos o todavía está un proyecto en progreso, etcétera, pues tal vez puedes usar have been planning. Entonces tú lo vas a manipular de acuerdo a lo que quieres comunicar o a lo que necesitas. Esa puede ser una o la otra. Es una de las que puede tener cualquiera de las dos está correcta. Either one is correct. Does anybody have any questions? Any questions? No questions? All right. Well, I have something a little bit more interesting. What we want to do now is analyze here. This is probably it is Professor Owen. According to the picture, remember we have Professor Owen, who is in Kenya, right? And she's talking about global warming. This is a doctor in Kenya that is in Kenya temporarily, and she's writing articles about global warming. Okay, so here you can see the doctor. In this picture, it looks like she's beginning because here's the topic. So maybe she's on the first page. Maybe. Okay, probably. And look at this. The coffee is full. Okay, so she just began drinking coffee, apparently. Okay, now over here, she's not on the topic anymore. She's working. She's in the middle of the story, right? And you can see it's 8 o'clock, and over here it's like it's 9 o'clock. Okay. Over here is raining, and right here is pouring. ¿Cuál es la diferencia entre raining y pouring? ¿Ah? Sí, pouring. It's pouring rain. Cuando está cayendo mucha agua, que es lo que queremos y no sucede en Monterrey, es pouring down. Pouring, P-O-U-R. Lluvia fuerte. Pouring. Y puedes decir, it's thundering. It's thundering. Está tormenta. Okay. Y aquí nada más empezó, como que estaba empezando a llover. ¿Verdad? So, less coffee, tenemos menos café. Si ustedes se fijan, el sándwich no lo ha tocado. No sándwich. No está comiendo. Así que puedes decir, she hasn't been eating, no ha estado comiendo. Y luego aquí vemos que sí le ha avanzado el reporte, ya hay más páginas acá de este lado. Okay, so here, a lot of action. Now, over here, no sé si tiene que ver con algo, pero aquí hay más luz en la parte superior de la foto que acá. No estoy seguro si, ¿será que nomás es porque nomás tiene la lámpara prendida y ya oscureció o le falló la luz, tal vez? No sé, pues sí, cierto, la computadora todavía funciona, así que no creo que sea la luz.
It's in the morning, no?
Yeah,
Eight-
maybe here.
8 in the morning.
Yeah, that's possible. Porque a mí se me hace que a mí se me hace que 1 hora de diferencia para tanto trabajo no creo. Fíjate cuánto trabajo. Entonces, a mí se me hace que this was 8 in the morning y que esto era 9 de la noche. Ya se aventó 13 horas y no comió.
El café se lo acabó.
El café, nomás tomó café todo el día. Es una mujer decidida. Dice Luigi, y no se bañó, dice. Ok, trae la misma ropa, parece que no se bañó, dice Luigi. Ok, es de Monterrey. All right. A ver, Luigi, dime de una vez, aquí pon tus críticas a funcionar de esta manera. Dice, complete the conversation, describing what has been happening, completa la conversación describiendo lo que ha estado sucediendo, what has been happening in the picture, use the present perfect progressive, form of the verbs in parentheses, ok, si ha estado sucediendo vas a usar el progresivo, dice choose between affirmative or negative, selecciona entre afirmativo o negativo, Mr. Luigi. El número 2, ¿qué vas a decir?
Number 2, she hasn't been talking to climate expert.
She hasn't. Okay, very good. She hasn't been talking. Not in the picture, por lo menos. That's correct. Maybe not in the picture. Okay, that is correct. All right. What about number 3, Mr. Adrian?
She has been writing a book.
She has been writing. Todavía no lo acaba. That is correct. She's not finished yet. Excellent. Mr. Nestor.
She hasn't been reading the newspaper.
She hasn't. She hasn't been reading. Oops, ya vino el she. Hasn't been reading. So she hasn't been reading the newspaper. No parece que haya leído el periódico. A ver. ¿Dónde está el periódico? No lo veo. No, pues no, en la foto no muestra nada de que está leyendo, de que se está leyendo algún periódico. Así que podríamos concluir que no. That is correct. Good job, Mr. Nestor. Mr. Marcos, what about number 5?
She has been drinking coffee.
Right? She continues to drink coffee. She has been drinking coffee. That is correct. And what about Mr. Nathan, number 6?
She hasn't been drinking tea.
Correct. Hasn't. Only coffee, no tea, because it's the coffee maker. Okay, there's no tea bags. Okay, if you look at it, okay, it's obvious that this is coffee because there's a coffee maker. It's black. Y no tiene ningún tea bag. Okay. Aunque acá ya lo puso de este lado, pero no creo que se le importe. Maybe. All right. Let's continue. What about the sandwich, Miss Tanya?
She hasn't eaten her sandwich.
She hasn't been eating her sandwich. Hasn't. Very good. Excellent, excellent. Luigi, number 8.
She hasn't been working.
Correct. She hasn't been watching TV. As you can see right here, okay, the TV is completely off. No TV. That is correct. All right. Mr. Adrian, number 9, please.
She has been working hard.
She has been working hard. Has been. Yeah. I mean, if she's been working from morning until night, you know, that's some hard work. Look at the book. I mean, she's writing a complete book. I mean, that's a lot of pages. That's like that looks like maybe 150 pages, maybe 200 pages. That's a lot of work. So yes, she has been working very hard. At number 11, Mr. Nathan.
It has been raining all day.
It has been raining all day. You can use has, or you can use apostrophe. Has been raining all day. And you can see that on the picture right here. You see? We can see that in the morning. We can see that in the morning it was raining, and at night it is raining even more. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? So again, we have a combination. All of this is in the progressive. Okay, here we're getting practice on using the progressive. Very important that we can describe what's been happening. Okay, so if we practice, let's practice using the progressive for a few minutes. Okay, Mr. Okay, I'm gonna put this on here. I'm gonna put present perfect progressive. Okay, this is what I want you to do. Let's begin with you telling me something you have been doing. Okay, something you have been doing. So, for example, I'm going to put on here homework, conversational practice. This is going to be our homework. We're not finished yet. For homework, conversational practice. Okay. I'm going to put use the present perfect progressive to tell your classmates 2 or 3 things that you've been working on. Okay. Maybe a construction job at home, or repairing your car, or studying a class, or finishing something. Okay. This is our homework. I want everybody to do a little bit. Okay. Everybody needs to put a little bit on WhatsApp. But before we leave, okay, I'm going to say teacher example. Okay, what have I been doing? I've been teaching my group 4 level 3 students how to use the present progressive. Well, I'm going to put on here the present perfect progressive in English. Okay, that's mine right there. So tell me something that you have been doing, Mr. Adrian. I'm going to type it. Tell me something you've been doing.
I have been doing exercise.
In the morning? In the morning or every day or what? From Monday to Sunday. All right, all right. What about Mr. Luigi?
I've been eating.
Eso lo dijiste tú, lo dijo Adrian. I've been eating a lot every day. Every day, all day. Okay. Mr. Marcos, what have you been doing?
I've been drawing.
I've been what?
Drawing. Draw?
Drawing?
No, drawing. Dibujar.
Drawing. Okay.
Drawing.
I've been drawing
For my work.
in the morning, in the afternoon, or at work, or at home.
At work.
Work? Every day? Or recently?
Yes,
Every day.
recently.
Or recent. You said recent. Okay. Excellent. Tanya, what have you been doing?
I've been working all day.
I've been working all day. Excellent. That's simple to the point. Nathan, what have you been doing?
I have been working at the same place for the last 10 years.
Excellent. For the last 10 years. Good job, everybody. So that's our homework. You already did the first one. Tell me what you've been doing, but let's make it more recent. This weekend. Today is Friday. Tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday is Father's Day. So maybe you're going to be celebrating. Maybe you're going to be visiting your father. Maybe you're going to be traveling. Maybe you're going to be resting And whatever you're going to be doing at that moment, you tell me in the present perfect progressive. That's our homework. We will review your comments on. We will review your comments at the beginning of next class, and we will continue with more practice on this lesson from this page, from page 165 forward. Okay? We have a lot more practice to cover, but today we had a 1-hour class. We're finished now. Thank you very much for joining us today. Everybody did wonderful, and everybody practiced, which is great. Here we have Mr. Luigi and Mr. Adrian saying goodbye. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. I will see you next class.
Thank you,
Thank you,
teacher.
teacher. See you.
See you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye,
teacher.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. See you next class.